Welcome to the Blues Fanatics Show. I'm Dave Yanni Riley.
I'm Dan Ligori.
And we're here with Big Ben. How's it going, brother?
Good.
The piano virtuoso is what they call you. Man, I've been hearing real good things about you, man. Been checking you out on YouTube, man, and I'm excited about sitting down talking to you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we gonna get right into it. You're a young guy, man. Blues, how did you fall in love with it?
Through my dad. He plays blues guitar, and he always had blues on in the house and in the car anywhere we're headed. So I couldn't avoid it, even if I wanted to.
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I grew up in a blues household as well. But yeah, with your style, man, I can hear some Otis Spann, some Pine Top in there. I can hear, some New Orleans swing, some of everything, man. It's like a big gumbo you working with, man. How'd you develop that?
Yeah, well, a lot of that is through my mentor, Ricky Nye, who's also from here in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
And Ricky introduced me to all those guys like Otis Spann and Pine Top, but also a lot of these New Orleans guys like Professor Longhair and Alan.
Yeah, I hear that too.
And then of course I love like this West Coast swinging sound like Floyd Dixon and Amos Milburn. There's just so many great piano players to listen to. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming,
Oh yeah, you've been doing your studying. I see that. Nice, nice. But it's like I say, the young generation get into the blues, man. You like a breath of fresh air, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's there's not a lot of us out there. Like, I do know a couple of guys my age who really appreciate, real old school blues, but it's a small community.
Yeah.
So what do you consider yourself? Traditional?
Yeah.
Chicago? Mixed up swing? What?
Yeah, like 50s and 60s Chicago blues with Kansas City blues thrown in and New Orleans R&B.
Mm-hmm.
Little boogie, like you said, kind of like a musical gumbo.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Everything's still really close to blues roots. Never really stray that far away.
That's great.
So you can consider yourself a blues guy through and through?
Yeah, definitely.
I love this guy. I love this guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah. So what have you been up to lately? I know with this pandemic, it's been really rough, but have you been able to continue to play at home or do things and keeping busy?
Yeah. So I was actually playing shows pretty regularly in Cincinnati over the past summer outdoors and continued into early November. And then unfortunately, my dad and I both got sick and tested positive for COVID. I got it over in a couple of days, but my dad was in the hospital for a month. He had a really severe case. He's back home now. So anyways, we've been just practicing in the basement, getting our chops back and going on Facebook Live a couple times. And we're just gearing ourselves up for getting back out there this spring,
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you guys made it through, man. A lot of good people didn't, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a blessing in itself.
Definitely. And I'm also hoping to get back into the studio sometime this spring or summer. So my dad and I are working on writing some songs and getting some ideas together before we go in.
Oh, that's great, man. So have you been a part in these blues competitions in Memphis and everywhere else?
I competed in the Blues Challenge a couple years ago. I competed in Cincinnati and got second place in the solo duo. So it was actually me and my mentor on drums. He plays drums too. So then we went up to Dayton to compete again. And fortunately we won. So we got to go down to Memphis.
Nice.
And it's a good experience. It was fun.
I was just about to ask you, how about that experience? I know it was something different, kind of political, but something different. So did you enjoy it? Was it what you expected, or did you expect a little bit more?
It wasn't what I expected. Honestly, I was pretty nervous going down there because I thought, it's a competition. Is everybody going to be cold to each other and just but the
No, this
environment,
was in Memphis, you were saying, right, Ben?
yeah, down in Memphis for the IBCs. But everybody was super cool and nice. At least the venues where I played at, we were all kind of cheering each other on.
That's great.
I mean, it was cool.
Did you get a chance to meet a lot of musicians when you were down there?
Oh yeah, people I'm still in touch with a couple years later.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, it's a special place. Did you ever got a chance to? There's the Blues Hall of Fame museum that's also in Memphis. I don't. Did you get a chance to go there? That's right in Memphis. I mean, it's right now. It's closed to the pandemic, but at the time, it was open. They have a whole Blues Hall of Fame throughout Memphis, right in the town there in the city of Memphis. Yeah.
Yeah, I still need to check that out. When I was in
Yeah, if
town,
you ever go back down there, if they ever reopen it, yeah, it's a really historic thing. And then Memphis is what we mean. Yanni have talked about it, is right near Helena, Arkansas, and Clarksdale, and there's a lot of blues all within those three cities, within Clarksdale, Helena, and then Memphis, all within they're close to each other. So it's a very it's big to the deep roots of blues. Yeah.
right.
So yeah. So was that your first time to Memphis? I mean, I know it's or you'd been there before.
No, that was my first time going down there. So I
Yeah.
get to see the Blues Hall of Fame, but I made sure I went to Stax and the Sun Museum while I was down there. I've been to Clarksdale a few times for the Pine Top Perkins Foundation Blues Workshop.
Yeah.
But I still haven't made it over to Helena. I want to go to the
King Biscuit.
Yeah, King Biscuit. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you got a chance to see where Muddy Waters grew up in Clarksdale and all that area?
Yeah, of course I had to. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
pilgrimage.
Yeah.
Pilgrimage.
Yeah. So when did you? I mean, you're 21 now. When did you first start to play the blues? I mean, were you at what age were you when you first you heard and you started to play the blues and kind of create your own thing?
Yeah, when I was 8 was when my teacher introduced me to the blues form. He taught me a basic 1-4-5 progression in C, and then just went from there, slowly getting into it more, listening not just blues, but some of the boogie woogie guys, and of course with my dad in the house, always listening to Freddie King and Albert King, and of course all the Chicago guys, Muddy Waters. And I just slowly, since I was first introduced to it around 8, I just slowly fell in love with it, and now it's part of my daily routine. If I'm not playing, I'm always listening to some.
Always listening to I mean, you got introduced to the forefathers of blues. I guess I would say like the guys in the beginning. I mean, was it Freddie King you first heard? Was it Muddy Waters, B.B. King? Was it remember who you first heard that kind of was like, man, this is some good stuff?
I can't remember the first person that I heard, but I do know my dad had a CD of all the Freddie King instrumentals that he recorded at King Records in the early 60s, Hideaway and Just Picking and all this stuff, and I just fell in love. And I still, to this day, I love the piano player he used on those sessions, Sonny Thompson.
Yeah.
I just think it's really beautiful stuff.
That's wonderful that you were able to be influenced by your dad, like Yanni and his dad, and Muddy Waters and his sons, and that's a great thing that you're able to go on to the next generation, keep the blues going. That is really. Do you have a lot of friends that since you play the blues that you've been able to people your age to introduce the blues to, not only Cincinnati but in other places throughout the country or perhaps throughout the world?
Yeah, I've got like I said, a small community of people my age that love blues. There's a friend of mine who lives up in Massachusetts. His name is Cameron Smith, and he plays harmonica and guitar, and he goes back even further than I do. He listens to J.B. Lenoir and really heavy early electric blues. And then I know somebody in the UK named Ben White who also plays harmonica, plays great Chicago blues. And then the furthest person I know is his name is Takudo Asano. He's from Sapporo, Japan, and he came for the Pine Top Perkins workshop in Clarksdale, and we met up and became really tight. So
yeah, it's strange about the little towns like Clarksdale and Helena, even Memphis. You meet people from all over the world, man, and enjoy the music, man. So there's always a good camaraderie there, hopefully you get down to the King Biscuits, because it's the same thing, man. People from all over the world, they're musicians and fans and blues enthusiasts, man. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they having it this year? Have they announced
They're
it?
scheduled to have it in Helena in the fall in October.
Yeah, they was talking about it's still a go for October for now. Don't know if it's gonna change, but I think so.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna have it.
yeah, it's definitely a great thing.
Because it's a big enough place for them to do some good social distancing, and it's outside, and yeah, I think they'll be able to do it. But don't know yet.
Yeah, it's a lot of this. Yeah, it's so do you enjoy playing like those, like the outdoor festivals? Do you prefer to play inside then? Do you have like a preference of where you like to play on? Obviously, when normal times is what you prefer.
Right. Pre-COVID, I loved playing inside of
Oh yeah.
before everything broke out. I mean, there's nothing like a small venue where everybody's close and
Yes, I agree with 100%.
and everything. It's like, it's beautiful. You take a small place and you pack it with like 30 people, and it feels like a great, huge crowd.
Have you been out to the Phoenix to the Rhythm Room?
No, actually, I was supposed to go for the release party for the Gypsy Woman Told Me for Bob Ford's.
I guess with everything that went on, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Rhythm Room is exactly like that. I mean, it's been in Phoenix since the early '90s, and it's exactly, it's very intimate. It's a huge part of the blues that we have out here in Phoenix, and yeah, it's exactly like that. Yeah, I miss it too. I mean, as well. It's just, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's one of those things that I can't wait to the day we can get back to that.
Right. Yeah. But in the meantime, like I said, I still had fun over the summer. We were playing outdoor decks at restaurants around Cincinnati, and it's still a good time. It's not the same, of course, but roll with the.
So I guess helped to just being able to continue to play. I mean, because I know there's been certain musicians that haven't been able to do this during this pandemic, but I guess just being able to still play, it gets felt good to just, even though, like I said, it's not the same, but to be able to still continue to play the blues, during last summer and everything.
Right. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I still have fun playing outside, but.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Do you do any like virtual performances or anything? Because I know that's something that a lot of the musicians that we've interviewed here on the show, and blues musicians in general, have done. Is that something you do, virtual performances?
I've done
play like on a Facebook Live or something.
Yeah, I've done a handful of Facebook Lives, maybe every couple of weeks, just to keep my chops up. I don't want to get lazy. But of course, that really isn't the same at all. That feels.
Oh yeah, it's something different. Yes. So do you find it like just different, just because, like, you're not being around the people and you're playing inside? It's like there's just a different feeling, than when you're in front of the people at the concerts, or inside the clubs. Is just different feeling.
Yeah, totally different feeling. I mean, when you're doing a live stream, you just kind of have to pretend that everybody's there.
Everybody's there, yeah. When was the last time you were back in the studios? Were you in the studios over the winter at all? Have you been doing anything in the studios?
No, last time I was in the studio was last June, when I recorded my most recent album, Carry Out or Delivery. And I'm hoping to get back in, like I said, this spring or summer.
Yeah, sure. It's still. What was it like when you put that album out? Was it pretty? Was it just like something that you like really felt really accomplished when you had put that album out?
Yeah. I mean, I felt like I had a lot to say, because I wrote all those songs last March when the pandemic first hit.
Yeah.
So of course I had a lot on my mind, a lot of feelings.
Of course, yeah.
And I wanted to express some of them a little more seriously, and some of them a little more tongue in cheek. Like the title track is, kind of like a Louis Jordan thing. It's a little double entendre and stuff like that going on. Then I got more serious songs like Time Brings About a Change. That was a Floyd Dixon song. And we were able to release it outdoors, socially distanced. So, I mean, we had a good time at our release.
Great, yeah.
Oh, that's good. How's the music scene in Cincinnati, the blues scene?
It's small, but it's here. We don't have any specific like blues clubs or blues bars like Phoenix or Chicago. There's plenty of places where I can get work like I mentioned earlier, a lot of restaurants. There's a few New Orleans restaurants I play at, so I always pull out as many Mardi Gras songs as I can when I play there. And then we got a great gig downtown. It's a rooftop bar at the top of a hotel, and it's like 30 stories up. It's kind of hard to get our equipment up there. It's like you go up one elevator, then you go down to the other side of the building, go up. But once you're up there, it's a beautiful view of Cincinnati and the river. And it's a great place to play music.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Hopefully, like we just said earlier, we get back to that soon, man. Because I definitely miss traveling and playing and all of that good stuff. And it's a pain, man. So how, you say pre-pandemic. So how was your career going? Was it going in a positive direction? Was it moving pretty good?
Yeah. I had some things postponed, like I was supposed to play on the Joe Bonamassa Keeping the Blues Alive cruise in the Mediterranean last summer.
I know you was looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So, have you gotten a chance to meet Joe?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't met him yet? Yeah, I guess if that would, you probably would have, if that would have happened, you would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's postponed this summer, but I have a feeling it might get postponed again because it's still everything's cutting it close. The rollout of the vaccine and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So was that supposed to be in June, July last summer? Was that right?
It was supposed to be in August.
Oh, last August,
Yeah.
So that was who else was Joe Bonamassa? Who else was supposed to be? You were scheduled. Who else was scheduled to be?
A lot of guitar slingers. It was him and I think Samantha Fish was on the schedule. Johnny Lang.
Oh, Johnny Lang.
Yeah.
That'd have been a real good time.
That would have been
Yeah. So hopefully it happens. If not this summer, the following and
22. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the